All right, and we are live once again on my alternative channel. I've been trying to draw some attention to this, main subscribers of my other channel, and I got some people got the message, uh, got over here, seen a few of the videos that I was posting, and you know, got a subscription. So now if they have a subscription, they'll see I'm going live on this alternative channel, which is the whole idea. Uh, I was on for 15, 20 minutes the last time and didn't get anyone. But then again, I did go and let me see if I can open a secundo. No, I ain't going to be able to. This is all screwed up. I got some views on the videos and I got some more people subscribing. So hopefully some of the people that subscribe will get this notice that I'm live again. But once I get the restriction lifted after sometime next week, okay. I mean, that was screwed up. But when my restriction is lifted, I'll explain it. And, just take the time to go subscribe. That way, if something like this happens again, if I go live to say something or announce something or answer a question, you guys will be notified just like you do on the regular channel. And, I'll be able to get the word out without having to go hat in hand and ask another YouTube person or creator, which I'm wondering if the Gun Geek is live. He took my spot for Sundays that I used to have. Let's look. But Gun Geek, it's more of a chat type of thing. Yep, he's got it. Sunday chat live. Yeah, he's there with, we got somebody. Thank goodness. Go ahead and comment. So he's there. He has 314 with him. I got one viewer and I got a thumbs up. So I guess the message is getting out, but I will make a video explaining on what to do. So if this happens again, and the thing is, I can't tell. Okay. Yes. All right. I stopped doing the live broadcasts on the Sundays, because I got caught up with stuff. I've been busy. I've been doing a lot of content, getting a lot of stuff out on YouTube, and then I get hit. It seems like when I start getting a lot of views in that, they don't like the gun channels growing and generating an income being a YouTube partner. And this AI searches through my videos, which I think at last count, they told me that since 2011 that I have posted over 3,000 videos. So it takes them a bit to scan through, and they find one that I made 4 or 5 years ago. And I, what it was is when I get a bullet mold for an odd thing that I had a custom mold made for like $200 and some dollars, I cast the bullets, show the bullets that come out of this custom mold. And I would tell people, hey, send me an email, I'll sell you some. while this is forbidden and everything else. And, back years ago, now I'm talking you go 10 years or something, you used to be able on YouTube, there was way less restrictions. And, especially with firearms, you could, show assemblies, show machining work, show modifying guns, and it wasn't a violation. And you could sell things. I actually would put up a video and show people a bunch of reloading tools and say, this is what I want for them. There's an email address in the thing. Send me an email and I'll tell you, and give me your address and I'll tell you how it costs to ship it. And I mean, it's going back a ways. It ain't now. But I used to do that and I sold all kinds of reloading equipment, components, brass stuff, all using the YouTube platform. But this is totally forbidden. Uh, I really made out with the Polymer 80 videos where I showed, machining out the thing or how to cut out the receivers. Now that, what was it? Marine, what the hell was his name? Marine Gun Builder. Okay, that guy had a whole huge thing set up just on the Polymer 80s. And I mean, he had a ton of people subscribe to him. He made all these videos with these fine tuning techniques. He was the guy to see on YouTube. And I mean, he did well. Then, just like me, because I had to take down 100 videos that dealt with Polymer 80s, 80% AR receivers, okay, and machining them out. I had several videos on that, and they generated a lot of interest. And I did make, some money with the advertising, being an advertising partner. I mean, I did very well 1 year. And then they just started coming down without warning, you know, and boom, this video violates our policy. And boom, this video, I got suspended uh, on several occasions. I was shut down for 2 weeks. I had to go ask the gun geek, could you please have a chat this week? Because I got to tell people that I'm not going to be able to answer, post, or upload anything. I see what you're saying. I've read about the 3D printing stuff people put out there that it restricts. It restricts. Yes, yes. That's 3D printing. I know one guy that used to make like vehicle accessories with 3D printers, like cup holders or some weird thing. And I knew a guy, and he explained to me how the process is, and it depends on the material you're using and the type of machine. Okay, and this was years ago. The the material's soft, and you have to harden it a certain way. And now I found out from somebody that does some engineering that they have something that you can 3D print, and it'll print a part with threaded holes in it. Okay, it's gotten sophisticated, and the material, depending on, I guess, how much you spend on the machine or whatever, the material is also way harder. That's more durable and a usable part. So yes, the frames and the lowers. What happened was I would get all these emails, and I know they're not from subscribers or that. It was from the ATF. And what they would ask me is what the depth is from the top of a frame of an AR to the bottom of the pocket. Okay. Now, if I told them that exact depth, the plus or minus 5 or whatever it was, I could get burned for giving out information and helping someone build, which you could sell an 80% receiver, and I did at flea markets, gun shows. But they turned it around to where if I gave somebody the instructions on how to complete it, the ATF would hold you like a federal violation like this here. Now there was that one guy in Texas, I forget his name, but he was a creator and he used to do this whiteboard with all the panic buying and all this stuff. And he had a lot of videos, but what he did is he made a little metal card, a little piece of sheet metal with a sticker over it, that if you filed and cut that to a profile, it created something that you could drop into a semi-automatic AR-15 and make it full auto. He's sitting in the state prison right now. Okay. He got burned for that. Building it for personal use, yes, there's no trouble. But they turned it into where you give instruction. Okay, now like the instruction, what the guy needed, you just go look AR-15 receiver blueprints, and there's about 100 of them out there on the internet for free you can download, and it gives you all of those dimensions. But for me to say, here's the blueprint, circle it and go, this is the depth, this is the width, that is considered me doing the work for the individual, which is against the law. In other words, someone can't come to me and say, hey, you got a milling machine in your garage. Can you machine this out for me? And for me to take that and cut it all out is against the law. I guess it got to where if someone came into my garage and I sat there that never ran a milling machine, and if I stood there next to him telling him how to do it, giving him the dimensions, even though I'm not touching the machine, they look at it as if I machined it out for them. Then they used to send me and another dealer, my transfer dealer, he used to buy cases of the 90% receivers and he'd sell them at the gun show. He'd sell out. That's why he got a table in the front. I tried selling them one year, and until his whole case of them ran out, somebody came down the aisle and bought one or two from me. I was charging the same price he was, but they just came right there, seen him, wanted that, and bought it. And he said he was getting calls. Somebody calls up and says, well, I'm so-and-so, I met you at the gun show. He goes, I meet 400 people and talk to them at the gun show over the weekend. So, I don't remember you. And the guy goes, that's okay. I got some of these 80% receivers. He goes, yeah. I need somebody to cut them out for me. And he goes, I can't do that. It's against the law. And the guy goes, oh, come on. And at the time, I think we're selling them for 60 if they're, had a phosphate finish on them or something. They were either $60 or $80 was the going rate. So the guy goes, well, I'll tell you what, he bought this thing for $80. He goes, I'll pay you $100 to machine it out. Now the thing is, you could go and buy an Anderson lower, finished, done, just fill out the form on sale for about $60. Okay. You don't have to machine anything. You just buy it legitimately. I think now they're $40. I still think the 80% are close to $80 or $100. So you could go and just buy a bunch of lowers finished for way less money. And see, this is where whenever you get somebody calling, well, I'm going to give you $100 to machine it out. Well, right there and then, this ain't good. Whether it's the ATF setting you up or an actual person asking you to do this, okay? You don't want to get involved in that. And then the guy started getting all worked up, and he actually went there. He was offering him $150 to machine out this receiver, okay? Like I said, when you can go buy a completed one for $60. All right, so you know something's wrong. And I used to get these emails. I was actually selling something on the gun broker. Had nothing to do with ARs or 80%, and I get a message. I'm looking for someone with a mill. I forget. He didn't even call it right. Um, a mill router or something, some nonsense, to do some work for me. I said I don't do that. Okay. Yes. The ATF has the yes, and that's what he wanted. Yeah, I said no, I don't machine uh, gun receivers. If you need a firing pin made or something of that nature, I said I can do that, but I said no. And he specifically said for 80%. Then I got an email, that's where the ATF ain't too bright. This guy, hey man, I know you, and it's the same story. He knows me. He don't know me. I don't know who you are. Well, I need somebody to machine out a bunch of receivers for me. I said I don't do it. And then the guy comes back and goes, hey man, I got to defend my family. And he always used the same terms. It's my right. I got to defend my family. I'm just a working class person. I'm a convicted felon and I need, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, this is bad. And I always notice they use certain catchphrases. The Second Amendment, my rights to protect myself, and this and that, and everything else. And I'm thinking, do you really think I'm that stupid to blatantly commit numerous felonies for $100? Okay, to someone I have no idea who the hell they are sending me an email. Okay, if there are people out there like that and they get caught by the ATF for doing stupid crap like that, they deserve to be, because you're just asking for it. It's like the guy that was doing the 80% receivers, and he was taking them downtown and selling them for like $800 to the drug dealers. And he was doing this constantly to where they even had him, with the cameras like you see in the movie. He got him right there, showing a gun, got his hand out, taking the money, counting the money and everything. They had all this surveillance on him. He was nailed 7 ways to Sunday. The only thing you could probably do is try to cop some sort of plea. Okay. I don't know. It was crazy. But yeah, I ain't worried about that no more. The 80% stuff is banned now. See what a lot of guys do, and I heard of a company, you brought up 3D printing. They make a semi-automatic receiver for CZ Scorpion, which there are a lot of kits out there. And there's companies somewhere, I think, down here in North Carolina. And these people have perfected this to where they actually make a part, and it is, a company that manufactures it using this technology. Okay. It's serial numbered and all that other fun stuff. So, this is not illegal. And they had them at the SHOT Show and they were showing these guns off. So, I guess it used to be in my day, if you wanted to make a frame or receiver, you had to have a blueprint and you had to have a block of metal of some sort. Okay, and you needed the skill. That's why they really didn't get worked up over blueprints for automatic weapons and that. I got them somewhere for machine guns and the blueprints for Thompson receiver. Okay, because unless you got the tooling, the skill, and the know-how to cut them threads and measure dimensions and that's not an easy thing to do. Okay, the technology now, like 3D printing, I guess once you write a program and if you got something that can put out the material and all that other stuff, you can make a usable frame by it. Okay, it's more computer programming and knowing how to tweak the machine, like CNC machine, than it is actual skill sitting there and doing each step by hand on a manual machine, which I know how to do that also. But they kind of they killed the 80% stuff. You can buy frames and the kit's separate or some weird crap, but you got a big hassle and the price too. And with the gun market crashing like it is, I mean, bad as it is, you can go out and buy brand new guns with a warranty for like $200. About what that frame kit costs you. Okay, you can buy. I think you can buy police trade-in used Glocks for less, the complete gun. Uh, well, I got my one viewer, and I know you're probably from the name. I'm going to write that down. Bryson Specht. From either Germany, Belgium, or somewhere. Yeah, from what I've seen, the prints. Yeah, see, my brother's an engineer. He's retired. He retired from working for the Air Force or something, and he does something on the side part time. He goes and manages this little company that's a bunch of these retired guys, and they do still make things for the Air Force. And he was telling me he went down there and seen. We kept the name. Okay, all right. Yeah, he's the one that told me they could do things to where it's probably what you're talking about, the uh, the nylon filament. Yeah, and that. Yeah, and the reason I asked is you caught this, and there were several guys. Whenever I had a live, there were several guys from Europe. They were either from Germany, there's guys from Holland, um, somebody from Belgium, and there's a lot of European fellows who show up. Okay. And especially when I went live, I'd always get that. That's why I'm trying to remember your name. I do remember it from the chats. Okay. Okay, you kept your name. Um, but yeah, I do remember you. Now we got two. After 20 minutes, I got two viewers. All right. So it's my plan to circumvent has worked out. Yeah, it was a while ago. Okay. But yes, my plan to circumvent my restriction has worked. And now, probably Sunday mornings. Now the weather's nice. I was out working in the garage, working on 6.5 Creedmoor brass. I'm going to wash it. Then during the week, I'm using that new powder, that Reloader 15.5. And it's really weird. There's another guy that does reloading videos. And what he did, if you take your maximum on a chart to the minimum, you'd have to load about 40, 45 rounds in 5-shot increments to go up, like I do, half a grain. Well, this guy kind of cuts the top one off, and he cuts 3 or 4 from the bottom, kind of goes mid-range, leaning towards the max. And he was going in 3 grain increments in between the cartridge charges, 3 grain increments. Well, he was doing this, and he was getting his chronograph readings, and he's showing. Now, he's smarter than me. He had a target with a bunch of little dot areas, so he didn't have to go change the targets like I do every time there's a string. And he was firing them, and he noticed that his standard deviation, it was like 24, 25. Then all of a sudden, in this one couple strings, it was 130, 140 in the velocity. Uh, and then he went 3/10 and it dropped right down to like single digit 9 or something. And I found the same thing with my load for the 22 250. So this powder is really weird, which means I have to weigh each charge and make it exact when I load. And did you ever find a chrono? Well, that's another thing. I uploaded the videos. There's 2 of them on this channel, Precious Metals, that explains that. There's 2 videos. I just uploaded the second one. And if you watch that, I explain how I had a rough time with the rifle not functioning. But then on the second video, I explain that that chronograph, when you hit a certain speed, okay, most of the stuff that I'm firing, okay, I think the lowest is like with 38 caliber bullets for the Webley revolver. I keep them at 600, almost 700 feet per second is the lowest type of ammunition I do pistol wise. Then it goes up. The standard military stuff, be it 30-06, 7.62, 8 millimeter, all of those cartridges run over 2,000, say on average 2,000, 2,500 feet per second. And I had no trouble with that Caldwell thing. There's a guy did a video. He had the older Caldwell radar thing, which was red. Mine's supposedly the new superior green one. And he did something where he had some kind of a custom bench rest load or something that bullet, whatever it was going over 4,000 feet per second. He did this test. He had all these different chronographs. They're all radar chronographs. So there was nothing in front of the gun. Oh, I think he had the one that you got to attach the thing on the muzzle. That's right. He had 2 or 3 radar units, and he had that weird one. You got to clamp a thing on the end of the muzzle, okay, to read the bullet. So he had all of these things set up. Meat fire these different cartridges, different speeds. And he goes, I found that when you go to 4,000, which he had something go 4,000 and a few feet per second, which I don't know what the hell that was, but all of them but one, only one of those devices could read that at that speed. And the Caldwell failed. And even this new thing with the new radar, of course, that's all set. I was at 50 yards. It's set for 100 yards. So I don't know if that would have gave it more time in that. But once I started hitting 3,600 feet per second, it started telling me it's getting a very weak reading to realign the radar. And the radar was aligned perfectly. Okay, I kept trying to adjust. I kept getting these readings. What it was, the bullet was too fast and the damn machine couldn't register it. And once I got up to it did do the max rounds. It did do, if you watch the video I give, it's 3,000 some odd, 600 and some feet per second. It read all 5 shots. Okay. Now, if I had that distance longer at 100 yards, would it have more time? Okay, because at 3,600 feet per second, 50 yards ain't nothing. Okay, I wonder if it would have read better, gave me better results, and then my software on the phone got all monkeyed up and wasn't recording nothing. I lost a lot of information. You know, I put a lot of time and money in, and chronograph is what. But other than that, if you line it up right at 50 yards, I've tested a lot of ammo, and it works. It just don't work when you go real fast. Okay, but that's the first varmint cartridge that I've gotten into ever. So I got 2 viewers. Been in 30 minutes. Let's see how the Gun Geek's doing. Let's see how many he's got. He doesn't get as many as I do on the chats. Of course, it's basically him and 314 just having a discussion. I don't think they take questions from people. Maybe they do. I don't know. They only got 7 people watching. New to StreamYard, level up, check, get a $10 discount. Yeah, they got 7 watching. So me with 2 ain't bad. Now it's 1. All right. Well, I thank you for hanging out with me. Even though I got one person showed up, the second one didn't left. Who knows what it was? They didn't comment or say anything. Only gave me 1 like. Yeah, so watch my channel. When I come back on next week, what I'm going to do is explain to everyone, come to the gold and silver channel that I was doing. And become a subscriber. So I guess that's how you found me. More lives in the future. Well, it appears this is what happened. I had to stop because with the weather changing and that, my schedule on Sundays changed. Sunday's a good day for me, or I can see a weekday. A lot of people work. A lot of people on Sunday. A lot of people go to church. But I used to go down in the afternoon with a friend of mine at the American Legion. We'd have a few beers every Sunday afternoon. Unfortunately, he passed away a few months ago. So now, really on Sundays, I don't go to the gun club on Sundays because that's when everybody's going to be there. And since my buddy's gone, I may just start lives again. I get at least 20, 30 people. I mean, Gun Geek, he's only getting about 7 or 8 at any given time. And most of them are the guys I know that, they subscribe to both of our channels. I've known the Gun Geek for a very long time. I talked to him personally and that. But, yeah, I probably will. I mean, the people ask for it. And I did a live during the week when I thought I was going to get hit. It was a couple weeks ago. It took them a couple weeks to sort this crap out, and then it was another video altogether. I took the other one down in question that they were questioning me about, but then they found this other thing I did 4 years ago, and next thing I know, bang, you're suspended for 7 days. Okay, and then this goes on until December. So if these clowns go and find another video that I forgot that I made 5 years ago, that I mentioned it, if you contact me, I can do something for you. I'll get shut down for 2 weeks. And then if I get caught again within 90 days, they can shut the whole channel down. Okay, this is what happened to me the last time. So what I did is I just went through and everything that mentioned cast bullets, I converted to a members only and took it off the monetization. Okay, so you got to have a membership to watch that video. All right, so I don't really want to erase 30 videos, 40 videos, okay, that I made. So yeah, I'll look into it, and thanks a lot for showing up. I had you and somebody else, but at least you hung out with me here for half hour or so, and I thank you. Gave me a reason to go on and make something, and I guess people will find this and view it later on and that. But I'm going to cut out and do some more reloading. And yeah, I'll think about it. And maybe I'll bring back the Sunday schedule again at 10 or 11 or something. And maybe I'll go 11, maybe noon. give people time to go to church, come home. Because a lot of fellas told me, that's when they go to church and all this other stuff. But thanks for hanging around. All right, take it easy.